Never lose hope. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't think that, because one of the traps that a lot of people fall into, a lot of youth fall into, is they believe that they're so far away from Allah that there's no way to come back, that they've already made so many mistakes, that they've already sinned too much, that they're just too bad to come back. And that is the mistake, that's actually the biggest mistake, is to believe that you can't come back, because anybody can come back to Allah. And there's no person and there's no sin and there's nothing that takes you so far away that you can't come back. As long as we are still alive, we can always come back to Allah, and the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always open. So my message, first and foremost, is a message of hope. Don't lose hope. Don't despair. Anybody can come back to Allah. Anybody can transform. Anybody can transform. We have countless stories in our tradition, in our history, of people who have completely transformed. Studying the seerah, studying, for example, Umar radiallahu anh, and how he transformed, and studying even the hadith about the man who killed 100 people and he was forgiven when he repented. The lesson that we have to have is never to lose hope. The other advice I would give is realize that this life is temporary. Realize that everything that we chase in this life is all passing away. It isn't lasting. It isn't even real. And that there's only one thing that is lasting and only one thing that is real, and it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hereafter. And this life is just, it's like a shadow, it's like a mirage. It's something like, when you're in a desert and then a person, and subhanAllah, Allah gives this analogy in the Quran. If you imagine a person in a desert who looks off and thinks that they see water, right? But when they get close to it, they realize it's just an illusion. That's a mirage. That's what dunya is like. And so the example that's given in the Quran is like a person who disbelieves in Allah, and Allah is describing their deeds, that the deeds of a person who doesn't believe in Allah is like this mirage, that they think there's something there, but when they get there, they find nothing there. And so that my reminder to myself and to others, especially youth who can get so caught up in these illusions, is realize what's real, realize what's lasting, and never ever give up what is real for what is not. Never give up what is lasting for what is temporary, because it's just foolish. It's just foolish. So look for what's going to last, and try to live your life in a way. It's like, one way to think about it is, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib." Be in this life as if you are a stranger or a traveler. Now, this is such beautiful advice, because if we remember that we are all going to die, we're all going to leave this life, and everyone we love is going to leave, that this is temporary, we realize that we're actually just traveling through this life, it changes the way we live. It changes the way we live. It changes our priorities. And it becomes about what have I put forth for that home that is lasting? Because we're all leaving. It's like we have two homes. We have the home we're in now, and we have the home we're moving into. And it's a guarantee that we're moving. But some people, when they get there, the house is going to be empty. Some people are going to have no furniture. Some people are actually burning that house down for themselves. It's their house. And so it's really a matter of how much have you furnished that house, because whether you like it or not, you're going to move there. All of us are going to move to the house of the hereafter. The only thing that's going to differ between people is that one person is going to have an empty house, one person's going to have a burned down house, one person's going to have a furnished house. And it all depends on what we do now, and how much are we putting forth in that house, so that when we get there, we can be comfortable. And so that's my advice, is just keep in mind that death is a certainty, and nobody knows when they're going to die. Young people die also. Young people die also. Don't think that it's not YOLO, right? If you don't, this idea of you only live once, it's not true. We don't only live once. We will be held accountable. We will return to Allah. So keep